Coming up on this edition of Carolina Insider, a popular sport gains more traction amidst a global pandemic. Then,
So our mission is to help anyone with a Carolina card kind of get back to on their feet.
an on-campus organization is combating a national issue. But first, see the results of a local election. Carolina Insider starts now. Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Toland. Our top story today, Daniel Rickman wakes up today as the new mayor of Columbia. Rickman beat out Tamika Isaac Devine in a runoff for the position. He finished with 52% of the vote to Devine's 48%. The city's at-large seat also went to a runoff. In that race, DT Bustles won 54% of the vote to Tyler Bailey's 46%. Both winners take their new positions on January 1st. South Carolina is expecting a major payout after a national infrastructure bill passed this week. President Biden has signed a $1 trillion bill into law Monday. According to WLTX, the Palmetto State is expected to receive $6 billion over the next few years for highways, bridges, rural broadband, and other projects. Back here on campus, a local organization is working to battle the challenge of food insecurity. Here with today's Cocky Spotlight is Ananda Kobierowski at Gamecock Pantry. Ananda?
Thanks, Elijah. I'm here at Gamecock Pantry, which is open to any U of SC student or staff member with a Carolina card. With it being National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week, Gamecock Pantry is hosting several events to educate our campus on food scarcity. The items are frequently replenished, and there are even fresh food options like bread and eggs. According to Feeding America, 1 in 9 people in South Carolina face hunger. Emily Brady, the executive director of Gamecock Pantry, explains the goals of the organization.
So our mission is to help anyone with a Carolina card kind of get back to on their feet and get everything that they need to have a successful lifestyle here on campus.
We'll be tabling on Davis Field for the rest of the week. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m., there will be a food insecurity education program and a Thanksgiving basket drive on Friday.
Another battle is taking place on campus, but this one has an age-old rivalry attached to it. We're on day 3 of the annual Carolina Clemson blood drive. It's one of the largest blood drives in the country and takes place every year before the Carolina Clemson football game. As of this morning, more than 652 people have rolled up their sleeves. The drive ends this Friday. Gamecock hoops will return to Colonial Life Arena this week after several road games. Women's basketball takes on Clemson tonight at 7 before heading to the Bahamas for the Battle for Atlantis this weekend. The men will return home against UAB on Thursday at 7 p.m. Finally today, as the COVID-19 pandemic starts to wind down, the golf industry looks to carry momentum gained from the pandemic into the future. With more on that, our reporter Mac Hardy.
For an industry that has a $2.3 billion economic output on South Carolina, golf has been struggling to grow in recent years. Many people who enjoy playing golf don't have the extra 3 to 4 hours a round takes to put aside. Until, oddly enough, the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and people suddenly had a lot more free time on their hands.
As unfortunate as COVID was for everybody, it's actually been really good for the golf business.
Starting in May of 2020, golf saw a surge of interest as people were getting out of lockdowns and courses began to reopen. The real swing happened in June and July 2020, when there were 17 million more rounds played around the country compared to the same months in 2019. Daniel Sewell, owner of Hounds Lake Country Club in Aiken, says he has also seen things on the upturn since the pandemic started.
Well, our outside businesses is probably increased a little bit. I think people have more time and feeling safe to be outside. They're choosing to play golf. There's a lot of interest from new golfers.
The interest from new players is something that the golf industry has been missing over recent years. According to the National Golf Foundation, there were 3 million people who played golf for the first time in 2020, a record number for beginners.
People who have not played in a while are now picking the game back up.
As the winter months and the usual cold weather slump for courses quickly approaches, clubs look to turn momentum from the past 2 years into a real change for golf. For Carolina Insider, I'm Mac Hardy.
That's it for this edition of Carolina Insider, a student production here in the Kenny Ground studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here on Friday.